I come to the floor to speak about a bipartisan piece of legislation, overwhelmingly bipartisan. I'd hoped to be on the floor today to celebrate the passage of the Survivors' Bill of Rights. However, as is the case far too often here in Washington, political gamesmanship is taking precedent over sound policy. The Democrat leadership is holding up this bill for purely political reasons. The Democratic leadership is delaying passage of this non-controversial bill despite the fact that it enjoys broad bipartisan support. They're holding up this bill despite the fact that it is critical to help victims of sexual violence. They're holding this bill despite the fact that the same language passed the Senate Judiciary Committee unanimously. They're holding up this bill despite the fact that it passed the Senate 89-0 and the House of Representatives 399-0. The Survivors' Bill of Rights has been championed by a courageous rape victim, a survivor, Amanda Wynn. Amanda is the founder and president of an organization that goes by the acronym RISE, R-I-S-E, a group which worked closely with me on the development of this survivors' rights package to establish new rights for survivors of sexual assault. Amanda was a victim of sexual assault as a college student. Her struggle with the criminal justice system in the aftermath of this traumatic event transformed her into a tireless young advocate for survivors of sexual violence. Sexual violence, as you know, impacts millions of American women and men in our country every year. Victims of such crimes should not face such an uphill battle in their pursuit of justice as Ms. Wynn did. That's why I included this same language in the Adam Walsh Reauthorization Act. That bill, which makes grants available to help states track convicted sex offenders, unanimously passed the Senate Judiciary Committee and the full Senate just a few months ago. I'm very proud to have shepherded this bill through the Judiciary Committee. It is a common sense piece of legislation. For months, I urged the House Judiciary Committee to pass this very bill. Thankfully, that committee and the full House passed this bill just a few weeks ago. Now the Senate must act, of course, so that we can send it to the President. Unfortunately, the Democratic leadership has chosen partisan politics over helping victims of sexual violence. Since the House passed this legislation, Amanda has been checking in with my office nearly daily on the status of when the Senate will pass this bill. While Republicans are poised to move forward on this bill, Democrat leadership has continued to stall Ms. Wynn's efforts. Among other things, this bill ensures that each and every survivor of sexual assault should have equal access to all available tools in their pursuit of justice. This includes proper collection and preservation of forensic evidence. The Survivors' Bill of Rights also secures a package of new rights for sexual assault survivors. Amanda Wynn has been working with both political parties to help fellow survivors. It's been an honor to work alongside Ms. Wynn on this critical piece of legislation. I will fight for Amanda and every survivor of sexual assault until this bill passes. So, I call on the Democrat leadership to stop delaying this bill immediately. We have an important bipartisan opportunity to improve the criminal justice system for survivors of sexual assault. So today, I ask the Democratic leadership to simply put the victims of sexual violence on the highest of priorities. Put these courageous individuals above partisan politics. We've done this before, and we should do it again, and particularly in this environment of today's speeches from the other side of the House, or the other side of the Senate, decrying the fact that there might be too much partisanship in this body. This is a chance to demonstrate not only bipartisanship, but unanimity in the United States Senate that's already been demonstrated on this piece of legislation, and get it to the president and help these courageous people that are fighting to help victims of sexual assault. I yield the floor.